So I made a goofy video about sort of 5 days with some financial restrictions, and it was sort of quick. I wanted to make something, and so I made that. But as I was thinking about it, making that video and considering what elements of my changes I wanted to include in it, I started thinking about other ones, and after I uploaded it, it occurred to me, I'm like, you know, I feel like I want to say different things or even pick different things about that whole process to share. And so last week I read a book called Profit First by Mike Michalowicz, and I've read his book, The Pumpkin Plan. It was the first business book I ever actually read, and I really liked it. And after reading that book, I surveyed my favorite clients, I fired my least favorite clients, and made some adjustments, and it was a huge, healthy move for the business. And that must have been back in like 2011 or 12. And we were doing more social media then, and now doing more video. My company has changed a little bit, and the sad truth is that I've been running Boom for 10 years. I started Boom in the end of 2008 on December 16th, and now it's spring 2019. It's been over 10 years, and Boom still doesn't show a profit. And I was for so long, naively thinking that all of the money that I was making and just sort of spending was being reinvested into the company so I could grow. And I was in this mindset of like, if I can just get like one big client or you know, 1, 2, 3 huge clients, everything will change. And as I continued to grow the company, the revenue did grow, but my income never did, the profit never did. I continued to just raise my spending, and I was trying to think why. Why am I so bad with money, or why, hopefully, was I so bad with money? Because growing up, my parents are very financially responsible. Both of my brothers are really financially responsible. One of whom is a financial advisor, and the other is an accountant. And then there's me, who last year I made of the revenue that Boom made, I took home just about 25% of it, and the rest of it is just gone. And so I went back through all of my expenses to try to figure out why I was spending so recklessly, what I was spending it on, because in my mind at the time, everything I was spending money on was something that I needed, was something that was important. I was investing in different software subscriptions, things that would help manage projects or clients, things that would help with editing, plugins, software, like gear, equipment. There was a ton that I kept spending money on, thinking like, or not thinking, and just assuming like, oh, well, this is gonna help me grow, and then I'll need this when I get bigger. But the truth is, like, I never was able to start paying myself well, and I've never had a good salary. And what I did bring home, I was spending on what I thought was a lifestyle that was related to or associated with success. And so as I think back to like, why do I spend money like this? Like, I never really, I had a little bit of a job. I had a job for a little bit of high school where I worked at Deerberg's. I was a bagger. And then when I graduated from college, I went back to Deerberg's. I was working in the deli until I got hired by promotion and was doing marketing work for CNN. And the difference in the money I made from working in the deli at Deerberg's and paying union dues to traveling for Turner Broadcasting and doing strategic marketing work was night and day. Like, my per diem that I got just for food, that each week was more than my entire paycheck was at Deerberg's. And so quickly as an adult, I just had more money than I knew what to do with. Like, I adjusted as an adult after I graduated to having like a little bit of money, and then the next thing, like, I just got spoiled with a much bigger paycheck, and I didn't really take the time to like thoughtfully adjust how I should be spending that, saving that, and I just took the opportunity to buy new clothes and be a young man and try again to like look successful. And then when I started my company, I got some credit cards and I needed a computer, so I borrowed money. Needed a computer, needed a camera, got a Sony Z5U and a MacBook Pro, and was doing the video production, was doing marketing work and stuff like that. But I still haven't paid back that loan, and that was in 2008 or 2009. And it's always just been in this like cycle of, well, I can almost like, I need to get this one more thing and then I'll be good. And I don't know why it took over 10 years or how I stumbled upon the book or what I would be doing now if I hadn't had this sequence of events. But after reading Profit First and looking at how like a different opportunity to structure my business more thoughtfully, it really is shocking that I didn't see this before. And like 2 years ago, really, I've been doing video production for a long time, but like 2 years ago, I really took the time to study some different things, study the craft of video a little differently than I had, rather than relying on my own habits and conventions. And I got a lot better. I learned how to do video very, very well. Then last year, I learned how to do the creative business side better, like anything facing outward, how to do proposals, bids, how to have better meetings and conversations, how to not upsell, but how to charge properly for the work that I was doing. And so last year, my revenue was so much better than it's ever been. My workload was a solid, happy workload with fun projects that I was being paid fairly for, finally. And so like 2 years ago, learned how to make video well. Last year, learned how to do the outward part of the business well. And I guess this year's the year that I'm finally learning the inside part of the business and how to do it well. And so I'm now in this place where I've honed all of Boom's expenses. I've cut back anywhere I possibly could. And I've gotten rid of services. I've gotten rid of things that, again, I thought I would need, or a lot of things that in my mind is like, well, once I'm more successful, this will be good. So it's good that I have it now. Like I'm locked in at this lower price tier or whatever. And it turns out a lot of that stuff was just a ton of wasted money. And I feel gross. I feel a little gross that I'm saying things now about being responsible with money that I've had the privilege to not have to be in that mindset. And it's not like there's just been money coming from nowhere. I'm in debt. I've used credit cards and I've borrowed money, and I've been fortunate that I was able to borrow money and that I had the credit limits that I do. But now it's really this effort to look at Boom and say, well, I don't need this, I don't need that. And I get that that's a very common experience for any smart business person, but that's not where I've put my focus for the past 10 years. And so it's refreshing to be now on this side of things and to say, you know, what can I do? Where can I save? And to start to be really aggressive about putting money aside for myself. Anytime money comes in now from a client, I'm setting money aside to pay myself. I'm setting money aside for taxes, and then setting money aside for profit. And then I'm left with, you know, my expenses. And so I'm looking at that number now instead of my overall bank account to say, well, what can I justify spending? And then to say, well, if I've got X amount of money, how do I spend only a fraction of that? So as I move into this next chapter with a knowledge about how to do my craft really well, a knowledge about how to sell it and negotiate it properly and fairly, and now adding to it a knowledge of how to manage my business's resources in a way that I can responsibly invest in gear, but invest in myself and pay down the debt that's accrued over the past 10 years, and really put myself in a situation where in a year or two, it can be a very profitable business, it can be lucrative, and it can support my family and myself and support itself. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to not only continue these sort of financial, you know, tightenings of decisions, but then at the same time, I'm using this opportunity to tweak some things in my personal life and start to get in some habits more. This morning I took a cold shower, which I haven't done since November when I went to Africa, but I had been doing for almost 2 years straight. So hopefully maybe back on the cold shower train. Eating healthier, I'm working out more frequently, and I'm trying to read more and to journal more and meditate more, and all the things that I always tell myself, like, oh, I wish I did that or I should do that. I'm taking this opportunity to say, you know what? I do that. I am doing that. And hopefully I can create some momentum here that's going to put me in a place where I can be healthy, wealthy, and wise, moving into the future, and have a business that supports my family and have a family that's happy and healthy. Thanks for watching. If you watched that other weird one where I was trying to go like all Blair Witch on it, thanks for being a fan. See ya.